For the 5th year, ArtWorks has paired local creative businesses with U.S. Bank business specialists and mentors in its annual Big Pitch competition. 8 finalists were selected to participate in the 10-week mentorship program for small businesses that have been operating for at least 2 years. Finalists received training, advising, and planning assistance from a small business mentor and a U.S. Bank advisor. ArtWorks is a nonprofit that employs summer youth apprentices to produce public art around Greater Cincinnati. To talk about this year's Big Pitch, we are joined by Tarita Preston, a mentor whose business is called The Curated Coach, Michael Howard, also a mentor, as well as Assistant Vice President at U.S. Bank, and Susanna Taishu, a finalist in the Big Pitch competition, whose business is SKT Ceramics. They are all with Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio.
Thanks, Peg. Guys, thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
So, Susanna, let's start off with a little bit about the company. Obviously, I can see some of your product, and then talk about what you hope to get out of this year's competition.
So I started my business in Brooklyn 10 years ago. I'm from Cincinnati originally. We ended up getting priced out of Brooklyn in 2016. They were turning our studio building into condominiums. So we moved back home to Cincinnati. We bought a building in Walnut Hills, a historic theater building, and we're renovating it into our future studio space and storefront.
That's awesome.
So one key component of the new building is our gas kiln that we're getting. All of our pieces are high-fired in a gas kiln and screen printed with my illustrations. So we are pitching as part of the Big Pitch for our kiln specifically, which is a state-of-the-art.
Sounds like a major part of it, right?
Yeah, so it's a state-of-the-art computerized gas kiln, so it'll cut our lead time down from 4 days to 1 in terms of when we put the pieces in the kiln and then when we get them out. And it's safer and just more environmentally sound, so
That's
we're really
excellent.
excited about that. So that's what we're pitching for. Having been in business so long, we're mostly self-taught, so we are really excited to work with Tarita and with Michael to just kind of organize and strategize before we head into this next stage of our business growth. So
Excellent.
it's just a chance
Now,
to
Tarita,
reflect.
this is your first year advising and working in the competition?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your experience so far, what you hope to get out of it.
So my background's in HR. I worked as an HR business partner for a Fortune 10 company and started my coaching business. So I coach on performance and leadership, and I'm so excited to work with them because as a coach, my job is to really help people obtain their goals. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of it.
And I'm sure something in the small business like that, HR is such an important element, but typically there's no HR director or no one there, so it's got to be a big piece of a successful business.
It is, but I would even say it's really her because her team is so close.
Yeah.
And they're so tight, and you know that they feel the passion. So.
Great. Now, Michael, this isn't your first time. This
It is
what,
not.
5th year, I think you
Fifth
said?
year being involved, yes.
And tell me, what benefit does it give you, and why does U.S. Bank continue to sponsor something like this?
Yeah, I'll first start with the bank. It's so important for us to be ingrained in the community. Folks like SKT and some of the other entrepreneurs we've had in the past are so important to the fabric of Cincinnati, specifically these creative entrepreneurs that sometimes get overlooked in some of the other maybe noise in startup Cincinnati, which is amazing, but we also want to make sure that we're reaching out to these folks. And so, and for me personally, year 5, it's so important to take the technical skills that we get with the bank and be able to give them back to the community, to these entrepreneurs who you just mentioned, they wear many hats, they're doing a lot of things, and for us to be able to give some of what we know back to them and partner with them, it's so important and encouraging, and it's really, really fun to be a part of.
Oh, that's great. Now, the program culminates in a public pitch on September 25th at Memorial Hall, and finalists compete for $15,000, right? So, and an audience choice grant as well. So, good luck to you.
Thank
We're going
you
to
so
continue
much.
to follow it, and who knows, we may have you back on here, after the program and find out you were the big winner and talk about it. All right, guys, thank you so much, and
Thanks,
good
Jamie.
luck.
Thank you.